But I think that Kamala Harris will win a narrow electoral college victory with 276 electoral votes.
I think Harris is going to win. I do think there's a little bit.
Hey guys, welcome to the Bulwark's 2024 election night live stream. I am Tim Miller. I'm here with Bill Kristol. It's not Monday, but it's election night, so me and Bill Kristol can hang out together. It is 7:30 in the East. Polls are closed in Georgia at 7 o'clock, in North Carolina at 7:30. As far as the states that we are focused on here, the 7 swing states, are concerned, we know a little bit at this stage. It looks like there is not going to be a 50-state sweep for Kamala Harris. Florida also does not look particularly good for the vice president, to say the least. It looks like we're seeing Florida move even more red off of... looking at these Trump counties. I'm not ready to look at the red counties yet. Do I have to? Okay, let's look at one. I don't know. I'm seeing a couple of comments that I'm a little serious tonight. Bill, am I a little too serious for you? Am I too serious right now? I'm in a suit jacket. I'm in a shirt. It's election night 2024. Democracy's on the line. I've been doing this for 9 years. You know, I can't put on a jacket for you people.
No, I'm with you. It's one tries to be a little lighthearted and all this, but I mean, it is really on the line, and especially if it's going to be really close, like this may be, and there's not going to be any kind of mini wave, and maybe there will be, but if there isn't, going through this state by state, it's going to be kind of, I don't know, kind of rough on our, I don't know, on our what, on our like
psyches.
We
are not cooked. I see somebody, it's like we're cooked. We're not cooked. We're not cooked. I go back to everything I'm saying right now. Really is in line with what I expected from tonight. I was hopeful that we were going to see a big Selzer wave, a secret wave, a huge rush, and the polls were going to be outdone. And we're a polarized country, and what we're seeing right now is some changes on the margins for 2020 that we're trying to analyze. Show you how nutty Florida has gotten. Let's just take a minute on this. Florida has rejected legal weed tonight. Florida is really going. As the country nudges to the left, Florida is like Wile E. Coyote sprinting to the right, the Roadrunner sprinting to the right. What is happening in Florida? A constitutional carry on guns, no limits on guns, massive limits on women's bodies, massive limits on weed. Why are the bros voting for this? Why are the young bros voting for this? Don't they want to smoke weed? Don't they want their girlfriends to have bodily autonomy? Wild.
You need to go to Florida and have a little talk with those people there in Miami, with South Beach and all. What happened to the hipster Florida?
After the Biden debate, thought that they were going into Virginia. They're seeing polls where they're winning Virginia. We had, after the end Selzer poll, we got people, Democrats thinking they're winning Iowa. So far, what we're seeing is we're a divided country, and the Democrats are winning Virginia. So we'll see about Iowa. Who knows? We'll see. Yet to come in. But let's go. Let's pull that Georgia map. Do you have any words of wisdom for everybody? There's some nerves in the comments. Any deep thoughts before we give you a break?
Yeah, no. Keep calm and carry on, and let's see what happens here. And I remain on the mildly bullish side. And that plus $3.49 or whatever it costs now will get you a cup of coffee somewhere. So yeah,
$4.50. All right.
Yeah, I know. I'm out of touch. You
guys, what's been happening? Sarah, your body language is not exuding just like happy Sarah. So maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, right now I just got passed a note, so I got my team out there. They said Harris is underperforming Biden by about 8 points in suburban Loudoun County.
We talked about this. We're not sure about there could potentially be late D votes yet. So
yeah,
but Loudoun is the one bad suburban county we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the suburbs we're seeing are pretty good for Harris. I just think it's too early to say. I like watching. We're watching Kornacki on the big board in our office. We got all the people. We got our drinks. Hey, my big thought. So we have been, we've all been sitting here watching it. I just don't think we know anything yet. I mean, we're seeing some overperformance in some of these suburban county, or not overperformance, but she's ticked up a little bit over Biden.
My feelings first.
I want your feelings, and then I'll give you some Clayton County analysis.
Pretty dispiriting. I would say the big takeaways right now are that the Harris blowout scenario is probably off the table. I think the idea, there was some, when we got the last Selzer and poll and the Times Siena poll, there was a hey, if things are still things have moved this far already and still moving, one of the variants that appears is a high variant where she just sort of romps. And I think we've seen enough to know that that's not going to happen.
Are you sure about that? Wait, just hold on. I want to just pull on that a little bit. So I understand, but like when we talked about the red wave in 2022, it did kind of like hit like the East Coast and then die, right? And so are we sure that that's not? I mean, and
I gotta say, I'm looking at the early return. Yes, it's early. Yes, we don't know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like what I'm seeing.
I want to inject a slight amount. I agree with that. I'm interested to see this Washington Post map because that's very.
I know you're prone to doomerism, but I wouldn't go too far just yet. I feel like we are. But I do think the thing I agree with JBL is it does feel like the blowout scenario, right? Where like she overperforms some in Florida. We're seeing wild overperformance in Georgia. It feels like not quite happening.
That's gone, I think. I mean, I just think that is absolutely off the table.
I mean, so here, how about we meet it like this? I think that like when she was up in Iowa, like there were some discussions of like a 350 electoral vote map or whatever. That certainly feels like it's off the table. I don't. And the swings, we have not seen enough evidence in any of the 7 states that matter, I think, to rule out that she could still sweep them. There you go. Oh yeah, so this is good. Let's zoom in on Georgia.
Is it good,
here.
Tim?
Well, it's good. It's a good map. It's a useful map. That's what I meant. Let's zoom on in. It's hard for me to see at this point if it's good or bad. Yeah. The concern. So here's what I see in this map, right? Because it's like everything else. It's like, well, there's more red because there's a lot of red, and he's moving right in the red counties. So here's what you can learn. There was a bit of hope that there was a secret well of rural women that were going to revolt against Donald Trump. There's no evidence of that in this map. The Atlanta, though, I know smaller blue arrows, but there are more people in Atlanta. So, the arrows around Atlanta do seem to be moving her direction. Yeah, and it's a majority of the state is in the Atlanta metro. And the thing that's concerning to me about this map, actually, is there are a couple of pockets of like black rural or small towns in Georgia, like Macon, et cetera, like that are down here. And I'm not seeing any blue movement in those areas. So, that'd be the one thing that would jump out at me.
The third part, I mean, it is just an open question. Can Trump really go over 47%? Right. And we'll see. We're going to test it. But it just looks to me like we are actually in for a very long process here.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it looks like North Carolina is real tight. Like,
this isn't the blowout we wanted.
Yeah, like, we were nervous. And then, this is the one thing that I would say, everybody be cool. Everybody be cool. I will maybe one of the reasons I'm okay is that I have never thought she was going to win North Carolina or Georgia or Arizona. And I've also thought like Nevada might go. I have hung everything.
270, baby. You've been hanging
everything
on 270.
On Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska too.
This is interesting. I've got the hopium map. Who's down right now in the comments? Who's
Ohio, right? You're going to Ohio?
Who's a little nervous right now? Who's a little nervous in the comments? Are you ready for this? I got magic coming. We got some magic coming your way. We've got the hopium coming. Oh, yeah, this is going to be like just a little freebase, like just a little minor. Like get out some of your baking soda. Get out the. No, you don't know. You don't know how to freebase. Okay. Well, we're going to give it to you, the good stuff. I mentioned Ohio. While Sebastian pulls that up, I mentioned Ohio towards the very beginning of the live stream, and Sherrod Brown is holding strong from his 2018 number, which was really good. And look at those blue arrows. And what do we know about Ohio? Sarah, is there anything about Ohio that we know that might be relevant?
It's gotten red as shit over the last few years.
Okay, that's one thing. I was thinking about something a little more obvious.
Never has somebody won Ohio and lost the presidency. It's in there. I mean, wasn't that part of his legal case?
It was. That's for a second.
Okay. The New York Times just decided to publish their needle.
Oh no! I thought that I was pro-union for the first time ever when the union was striking and preventing them from needling.
Yeah. You want to know what they've got where the needles right now?
Yeah, sure.
They've got Trump at 275 and Harris at 263, and they've got the Harris popular vote at 1.3 right now.
Okay, which state drops in a 275 map? Which of the blue wall states?
I don't know.
drop?
I don't know. I don't
Probably?
know.
Wisconsin? Is that how it would be?
They got Pennsylvania as the tipping point, Maine 2, and Iowa.
Where the hell is the needle? I can't find the needle. Somebody put the needle in Slack, please.
All right, let's see. I'd rather be Trump. All right. Well, we don't actually have any results from the blue wall states, do we?
There's the needle. Thank you, Chris.
It doesn't even close till 9. Michigan has closed, but we have no results of any meeting. And Pennsylvania is closed with no results of any meeting. So, that damn needle. It's a toss-up. The needle says it's a toss-up. Sarah, you didn't lead with the lead. The needle says it's a toss-up, which is exactly what we've been saying.
Well, they just gave us the electoral college estimate
All
there.
right.
That's what I was looking at.
Toss-up is a toss-up.
Toss-up is
Yeah.
a toss-up.
It's a toss-up.
Great.
But again,
Coming in here in a little bit. Sarah and JVL, you're too negative. I'm looking at the comments. Sarah's stopped my heart. Here, I'm not
being negative.
I
I'm
know.
telling everybody to just hold on. It's super early, and guys, we can neither be too bullish or too bearish. We can only tell you the results that we're seeing and give you our responses to it. So you can't get mad if we are, overly happy or overly negative. If we feel
I
overly
disagree.
negative,
You can get mad at JVL if you want. They take it out on him. If you have anxiety,
take it out on me because I'm not looking at the comments anyway.
Yeah.
And so you won't
take it
hurt
out on
my
JVL.
feelings.
Damn that
Do whatever you need
JVL.
to do.
You can throw shit at him, whatever you need. Because I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the repeated point that JVL keeps making is like the only thing that we have really learned is that the world in which Kamala Harris wins Iowa, and that means she wins all of the other states, feels like it's not the world that we're in. But besides that,
and he found more voters in the rural state. He found a way to get
more Bubbas.
Bigger margins in rural states.
Do you want to do the voice? Okay, we've got
right now the needle, the JVL needle.
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. JVL. So I'm ready for you to be dyspeptic. Yeah. I mean, I can't average this in my head right now, but it looks like he gained about 2 points in the completed Georgia county, rural counties. Though that share is what share of Georgia is rural counties? Do we think probably
it's gonna be like
a third?
Right. Yeah. I mean, but again, because that was his theory.
I mean, I think that we're being very generous to say that it's a theory, but yeah, I mean, his kind of lizard gut, I can create as much tension as possible, and that'll event. And if there's a war and a battle, and I'm strong and they're weak, that people end up coming around to me, like that kind of guttural thing. Yeah, sure, that's playing out a little bit.
Well, I guess I'll give you the reason that I'm obviously, look, I was never like a Harris blowout. I always thought the path was Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nebraska too. What it makes me nervous about is that we are in, if we get into really it's really tight territory, what happens is like Trump's going to declare victory at 11 o'clock here.
Let's talk about
100%.
that a little bit.
Yeah.
She's ticking up, 4 points, maybe 5 points. And in the not populous rural counties, not all of them, but a lot of them, he is also ticking up 4 points or 5 points. And it just, this suggests that if this holds, no reason to assume that it will, but if it were to hold, we go to the wire on it everywhere, right? This is, one of our nightmares. Georgia, I just as a personal matter, I don't think I can handle that. They haven't made enough Xanax to get me through that.
What have you thought about what your Xanax regiment would look like if we went into recount mode? That's something that'd be something to start thinking about. We have our friends at New York Times Needle. Nobody wants the needle, right?
No.
The needle is still in toss-up mode, but
the needle keeps moving down on the Harris popular vote estimate.
That's true.
Because we were at 1 point plus 1.8, and we have cut that in half, and we are at plus 0.9.
Okay, so
0.9.
Too many numbers.
It does look like the Loudoun County thing might have been a data error.
In my view, I just think it's very clear we're staring down the barrel of the close election that all the polls predicted, that much maligning of the polls. Like, it just seems like we're staring down the barrel of it. But if you look at some of the exits, Latino men breaking for Trump by a 10-point margin, like a huge change from 2020. And so that, I think, is obviously a very poor sign for Arizona, which I don't think was on many of our maps for Harris anyway. Meanwhile, it's early, but we are finally getting a batch out of Bucks County in Pennsylvania. And right now in this batch, Harris leads by 33 in the early vote. Biden won it by significantly less than that. So like that is the battle space here, right? Can Harris,
Charen, and all I just don't understand what is it about Donald Trump that is leading him to overperform Republicans in state? And I mean, again, is it because of the tremendously disciplined campaign he's run? Is it see what I'm saying? Like, everything we've seen is that Harris has been the one reaching out to Republicans. And yet huge percentages of those people are sticking with Trump at the top of the ticket.
Yeah, I can explain this actually.
Please do.
Okay, so
here's people are terrible. Is that the reason?
So I think part of it is that it has to do with actually how uniquely terrible for their state some of these candidates are. Trump was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. But like,
to be clear, Trump attempted to overthrow the government of the United States, and Carrie Lake, however annoying she is, did not.
Sure. I'm not defending it. I'm only telling you like why I think this is happening.
But again, it's happening over and over. It's happening across the country.
It is. Well, I guess I'd say some of this is the Hispanic men that we just talked about. There's a lot of Hispanic men that are voting for Ruben Gallego and Donald Trump. We can get into their mental state if you want in a minute. But I want to point a couple of things that I think are worth flagging. Number one, Kamala Harris the AP has called Virginia for Kamala Harris, vice president. This is only noteworthy.
Is this about the ads and how much the spending is?
No, it's not about that. It's what you said earlier. Is that this is 2022 repeat right now. Like, we saw that in 2022, we saw Florida and Virginia move to the right. And then, we waited a couple hours and we saw that Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan did not. Like, that happened.
I just told you guys this.
I know you just told us that. That's why I said I'm trying to take credit away from you and give it to the man. Because that is how things go in this country, where Donald Trump, an adjudicated sexual assaulter and a misogynist and a creep, is currently about a 52% chance to be the president of the United States again.
So Trump is going to declare victory. Practically speaking, is that going to have any effects?
Well, first of all, how are you holding up? You good?
I'm good. My final prediction on the podcast today was 276, 262 in favor of the vice president. I love Ann Selzer. It was great that she came on the podcast this weekend. I have nothing against her, but I was not really compelled by the answers that made that to make me think that it was anything besides a little bit of an outlier. And so to me, what we're seeing right now, I wish Georgia looked a little better, but Georgia looks close. North Carolina looks close to me. I'd probably rather be Trump than her in both places, but neither of them were on the map that I had for Kamala Harris winning. So I wish we were already popping champagne and the country would have rejected this piece of shit who attempted a coup, and that we'd be looking at a blowout and there'd be the women's wave and everyone would be marching for women. And like, I wish that was happening. It's not happening so far, but I'm calm in assessing it.
Good. I'm glad that you're keeping calm.
Let me just throw this out there.
Yeah.
The feeling I'm getting, just a feeling, is, as our colleague Bill Kristol says, sickeningly like 2016. Florida's off the table early. Remember, people were like, oh, she's going to win North Carolina and Texas and Florida. She's going to get 400 electoral votes. And it was a little bit later in the night, back when in 2016, when we started going, hey, don't worry, we just got to hold the blue wall. Like now we've already fast forwarded to that bargaining phase. We're already there by 9 o'clock.
I appreciate what you're saying that, but I was already in a ball by 9 o'clock in 2016. This is not like that. This is, to me, this is like 2020 and 2022, and the thing that does give me the bad feeling in my tummy is the thing, JV, you and I have been talking about for about the last month, which I don't like that Trump has 3 outs in the upper Midwest. I don't like it. It would have been nice to feel like she was in position in one of the 2 southeastern states to offset a loss in one of those places. So I don't like that, but they've all moved together.
Not going to happen. Hey, John, what's up, man? Can you hear us?
There's a lot of calls happening right now. Like I
I
felt as though I heard someone on this in my multi-screened house here.
Oh,
Wait, Tim, are you in Heilemann's house?
Yeah.
Why?
The live stream is coming from Heilemann headquarters in Soho, New York, and we
because I needed to make sure that there was a good whiskey in case things started to go
yes,
south.
we have a lot of alcohol here, and on the basis of what I heard, I have a lot of screens going in the other room, and one of them is devoted to the Bulwark live stream, and I heard one of you thugs on here just saying something like, "This feels sickeningly like 2016." Who was that?
That'd be
Who said
JVL.
that?
John,
It's JVL.
Yes,
John-
unfortunately, it's the
This guy.
smartest. Unfortunately, it's the smartest one on the whole Bulwark, which is really a problem because, like, I was hoping it was like Sam.
Am I the
who does-
smartest one? I didn't even think I was part of the Fab Four of the Bulwark.
Well, you're not.
John-
You're not. part
John,
of the
can
fab.
you sit up? John, can you sit up at all?
Yeah, you're like the tallest human in the world, and somehow you
Tim's got the chair here. Tim's in
Tim, give him the chair.
Tim's in the chair. I'm just like, I'm here on my hands, on my knees here. And I wanted to say, the rest of you, when I heard that, it says sickeningly like 2016. There was a loud, like, groan in the room out there where people are still trying to maintain some sense of hope. And it's like nothing's really been called, and there's not been a single state that's been taken away that was not. They're on serve right now, and yet here's last, the smartest guy at the Bulwark basically declaring that we're all doomed. Thank you for that.
First
Do you
of all,
disagree with him?
Heilman, I don't know if you listen to JVL much, but this is like just what he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is why.
and I'm always right too. That's believe me, it's the curse.
You're always right.
I don't want to be.
Wow. Okay. For all
Tell
of
me,
you,
am I wrong, John? Though.
I want to bring in a piece of hopium. Here we go. We're
Oh.
going to
Tell me
I
why
want to
I'm
bring in a
wrong.
little
'Cause I
piece of
want to hear
hopium.
it.
I received
Can
a
we-
text. I just received a text from my favorite Georgia source,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
was correct in 2020 when the Needle said that Georgia was 81% for Trump. He kept texting me, "I don't think so. I think that Biden's going to win." And I just got a text from him that said, "I still think Georgia's going to be close." So there we go.
Close.
We're staring right
Close is
down. No, but
close
close
is
Georgia's
winning. Harris
good.
winning.
Close Georgia's good for Kamala.
All right. Hyman is John. Hyman.
It feels. I mean, on the. I'm not at. I'm just trying to think about the timing in 16 and screaming and weeping and
We're not
throwing
going
things.
back.
That is not like what this
Yes,
feels.
we
like.
are.
This
actually.
feels.
Stop it, JVL.
I think it's a little bit. I'm not saying I don't think that. I think that at this moment it doesn't feel to me like I'm absolutely certain that Trump is going to win this.
No.
But I allow for the fact that it would be nice. It would be. I would like to see a stronger performance from Harris in a bunch of places right now, so I would feel more comfortable. But like at that moment in 16, it was like, fuck, this could be doomed. It feels more like 20 to me. In a way, although Harris was never leading in the way that Biden did. So I'm not sure. I think it's sui generis. But if you're asking me, do I feel happy and comfortable right now? No, about Harris winning. If you're asking me, do I think she's doomed right now? I also don't say doomed at this point because I still think she can win these blue wall states.
Okay, hold on one second. Before we go on. What'd you say, Abby?
Starting with the pony.
I'm starting with a pony.
All right, let me hear your pony, and then I'll leave.
I think Bob Casey, crusty old Bob Casey, just won his seat.
He did?
That's not bad.
Did he?
Was that a
Yeah.
call? Let's check that out. I don't see the call.
And Fulton County is not yet completely in. So we really let's not like jump on Georgia when her votes haven't come in.
Okay, that's a good pony. I'll see you guys soon.
Has Casey actually been
Has
called?
been
I
mentioned.
have not seen Casey call, just to be clear. Where'd you see that?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't want to get hopium too high here.
Okay, hold on.
We'll
Justin-
circle back. Well, so Sebastian will circle back to that, or someone on
Oh,
staff.
sorry.
No, Casey.
It's the election
Wah,
center projected
wah.
winner, Bob Casey, an incumbent Democratic hold.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Go ahead.
So the votes in like I said in Georgia are not. I mean, I'm not saying that she's going to win it, but like she won Virginia. Let's just wait and see how her vote comes in.
Right.
It is not good about the gender gap being only 12 points because I think for Biden it was 15.
Yeah.
So that is not good.
Yeah.
That's nationally, and it could be off. And of course, it might not be completely correct, but I'm kind of where JVL is. I'm trying to find some rays of sunshine.
Well, let's just go.
North Carolina. And so the idea right now that she's kind of on track to stay within a point or so, that puts her roughly where Biden is. And like, I've always thought the path was Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. And here's the thing, like, I can't overread.
Still
But yeah,
too early, but yeah, these are all close states. We'll see what the Blue Wall foretells.
I really am with Sarah. I really believe it's too early. She said an hour ago it was too early. She said it now, and it is too early in my view. I just am having such a 2020 vibe.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that the election is over by any stretch, but if we are talking about coming down to a 5-digit margin in 3 states,
I know.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that is panic time. He attempted a coup. He has been running with his face melting off of him and saying the craziest things you could imagine. And running an absolute joke of a campaign. His campaign has been imploding in front of us. We saw his campaign managers dumping and doing pre-mortems to Tim Alberta at the Atlantic. Everything about this for the last month has looked like a losing campaign.
Yeah.
And the answer is that, like, it's going to be like, well, we'll see how 12,000 people in these 3 states go.
And no, that scenario is frightening because the closer it is, the more potential for violence and all this pressure. It's not good. I mean, look, the truth is the best scenario if he's going to win is he wins big and hard. That's the best scenario.
Who's having panic attacks. Just to remind people, we don't think this is by any stretch of the imagination a done election. I think the general consensus is it's kind of mirroring what we expected. The Sunbelt states have been elusive. She'll probably, we predict, end up pretty close, but probably short. We don't know. We have to wait for a number of key counties to come in. But the path that we always thought was the most reasonable one for her was through the Blue Wall states, which is Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And at this juncture, the data is just not clear as to how that's going to play out. We just don't have good enough data there. We do have some from Pennsylvania, but the latest read I had was it's really a toss-up election. And so we're not saying that this is by any stretch of the imagination done, but we are just trying to sort of figure out and come to some sort of consensus about why it's so close, considering all the factors that have led up to this, and what explains Trump's appeal continuously, even in what I think is widely regarded objectively as very erratic close to the campaign. Right.
Like, this is what we are seeing is mass psychosis, and we are seeing a society disfigure itself on purpose for some reason. And it is not because they are personally feeling pain from inflation. I'm sorry.
Okay, North Carolina.
My wife is texting me saying, JVL, do you need me to bring you Xanax?
Yeah.
She might.
North Carolina was called for Trump by the HQ decision desk.
Wow.
Yes. And we have Fox News projecting Texas for Ted Cruz as well. So 2 more calls.
Hey, Heilemann, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean, It is a map that is turning up about as Republicans could have hoped, right?
Ted Cruz has won.
Ted Cruz has won. It's not looking particularly great for Sherrod Brown in Ohio. So we're going to end up with a much more Republican Senate, it seems like, than 51-49.
Things are about to go dark, I think.
Would you just stop?
This is what 2016 felt like.
No,
But it also is sort of in a way what 2022 felt like for the beginning of the night. So we just got to keep that in mind. I do kind of align myself philosophically with you that the trends don't look too great. In fact, they look bad. But we still have 3 states that we just don't have great data on. We could probably take North Carolina off of the map and bring in.
Yeah, who's driving on that? Can somebody go?
I'm kind of with JVL to a degree on this. It's not looking particularly great. I'm also with JVL. Dave, tell us what you're hearing. Okay.
Yeah, I am still hearing Democratic hope that what you've seen in each state, which is a small shift to her in the suburbs and strength in the cities, is enough to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. The polls are right, which is, I think, dispiriting to Democrats. The whole
MAGA people, right? Just standing around like they're less drunk than they'd want to be because they were hoping for an open bar. But in checking in with folks in Mar-a-Lago, Trump just gave a brief address there to a bunch of $1 million donors. Didn't say anything of note. Actually, didn't dwell on election fraud. Said things look good. I think that's partly true, partly not true. And they're in the cautious, optimistic territory. Another person
and up on the big screens, a little bit more antsiness rattling through the crowd. Everybody seems to be kind of like, all right, we came in the kind of hope that we were going to get this blowout and not have to stay up and panic and chew our nails all night. And that appears to have to at least be closing that the likelihood of that. And we're looking like we're heading, I'm sure you guys have been talking a lot about, right toward that blue wall nail biter again. They're people are like trying to keep their spirits up. People are trying to settle in for the long haul. But it's a nice night out here. It's an outdoor event, and people will be here for a few hours yet.
Twitter.com, X. Here is the blue wall check-in. Pennsylvania has Harris 52-48 with 35% reporting in. Michigan has Harris 53-45 with 13% in. And Wisconsin has Harris 51-47 with 29% in, all of which are setting up for a photo finish. That's just a recap of the first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You run against the guy 3 times, twice with women candidates, once with a guy candidate. The guy's the only one who wins. I think
we haven't seen that yet.
No, I mean, I just
okay.
You can be reductive about these things, and I think that the lesson that Democratic primary voters will take from this, because we always talk about how voters are too stupid to even exist in the world.
You talk about that. I don't.
Bubble wrapping them all the time, that they would just fall into pits with spikes and sharks with lasers on their heads because they're just morons who can't understand anything. I think that the lesson they will take is that there is no fucking way they're ever nominating a woman to be their presidential nominee again.
They might take that lesson, but I'm not sure they should. I think that one of the things that they should, I think that, that is that's why sometimes people are like, what's the Bulwark gonna do, if Harris wins? And I'm like, I don't know if you've noticed, we still have an enormous problem on our hands. Like, if Trump wins narrowly, if Trump loses narrowly, we have an enormous problem on our hands as a country. And so I think
that again is voters are too stupid to understand how anything works, right? I mean,
this is part of the problem, JVL.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, while we have Mark apparently in the bowels of some convention center.
Well, I was trying to get away from all the sound, the ambient voice. Yeah.
What do you think is the Trump appeal? Nate Silver still has Harris at a 53% chance. Don't know what that means. Again, I just want to be honest. We all kind of have come to the consensus that 3 states will matter here. I mean, you could put Nevada off. It doesn't matter. What?
As far as the presidential is concerned, look, but if we bring ourselves to a pre-Seltzer world, poor Ann Seltzer, God love her. If we bring ourselves to a pre-Seltzer world, what I think the consensus view was at the Bulwark, maybe not among every single person, was that we were looking at a 270 to 268 map for the vice president. She was going to need to win the blue wall states in that Omaha congressional district, in Nebraska too, which is looking good right now.
While it would be great if, North Carolina had surprised us or whatever, that the scenario that you just laid out, that a lot of us have been thinking was the likeliest, still very, very well may happen with Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, plus Nebraska's little blue dot going for Harris and therefore giving her the presidency. So that can still happen. So I think we can hold off on the doomsaying about what this says about the country, that it came this close. We've known for 9 years that it said nothing good about us, that a man of this low character could have come to control an entire political party. We've known this. This is not new. And so for now, we just have to, hang tight, get a drink if you need one, but it's not over. And if Trump does manage to pull out a victory, we will, all is not lost. We will continue to fight for the country that we love, the half of it that we represent.
I want to get to what you're seeing in Pennsylvania is that Trump, I believe, has just taken the lead in the total count. That said, this is kind of how Pennsylvania goes. So just as a reminder for everybody, what was going to happen based on the way that they report and count was that Harris was going to take the lead at the beginning. Then there would be a wave of votes that would be more friendly to Republicans. Looks like Trump now leads by 0.9% in Pennsylvania, and then Philly and some other places would come in late. So, yeah.
And what we are left with is hoping that we squeak this out. So we are back to what would be a normal election. The out party, look at the numbers on presidential approval, look at the numbers on wrong track. You would expect the out party to win. The fact that it is a normal election, despite the Republican Party ticket being headed by a guy who tried to overthrow democracy, tells you that we have certainly taken another step towards sort of, Hungarian authoritarianism. Sorry, I don't want to be too dramatic about it. Right. We may stave it off for an election, but remember, we barely staved it off last time, and that guy came back and the whole party supported him anyway. He's either going to be president or he's going to have come this close to being president again. That's where we are.
People that don't follow our politics don't see it. And it's really hard to get people to follow our politics, right? It's depressing. They don't want to deal with it.
I'm hoping that Kamala can still pull it out, but I have to say that one thing, again, not wanting to do a post-mortem before it's necessary, but I do think.
Yeah, give us a mute there. A couple of just notes from around the internet here. Different vibes. With Alan Lichtman's YouTube feed over there, not great. The vibes are low, according to someone that's watching his YouTube feed. Shouldn't laugh at that. Nate Silver.
I'm a little bit skeptical of these I'm skeptical of a lot of these models because of the dramatic change in early voting from last election to this one. I just don't know how they're computed until you get close to 100%. It's so hard to know what's still out there. Projections from 2020, I'm very skeptical of them. Let me say one thing here, because I've been like Prince of Darkness for the last 48 hours.
Right.
I don't want people to despair. I'm not despairing. I recommend.
If somebody out there could do me a favor and log into my phone and reply to everybody asking me how I'm feeling, and to let them know that I'm currently on a live stream where they can see and hear all of my live thoughts, that'd be very helpful for me. I felt a few other things in Iowa. It looks like they've called Iowa for Donald Trump, so that dream has died. Which we all expected. interesting. The popular vote, like right now, the popular vote projection is close to even, which is something that really nobody predicted. We're getting close to the vamping stage, I guess, of the of the coverage. As thing that's striking to me tonight, as we look at the numbers, Trump does seem to have improved with both Jewish voters and Muslim voters. And to me, this is like a, I don't know, maybe a big hit.
I'm in the filing center for the Harris event. I've been outside, but the speakers boom, and you don't want to hear that as I'm trying to talk to you. It's a little bit gloomy over here. It's gotten quite a lot more. I'm sorry. The longer the networks are on the big screen, the more kind of doom and gloom there is. So yeah, it's gotten a little bit bleak around here. Still a very lovely night though.
Tim, you're on
Tim,
mute.
you're muted.
Sorry, it's over. It's over. That's just not where we're at. We need a lot more data to come in the blue wall states, which are always going to be her best path to victory. So more to come in. We're continuing to monitor them. The dean, I guess we look to you for some wisdom here. What say you? Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pretty grim evening, all told. There's no way to kind of sugarcoat it. It's a bad day for democracy. It's a bad day for the United States. I don't, honestly, to be honest, sure, it's not over. You could see some. So it's not over, but the trend lines are bad everywhere. And we just have to accept that and think about
feelings are good. I might have one drink, and JVL take the lead, and I'll see you back here shortly.
Hey, friends. So I'm glad the rest of everybody is caught up with where I was at 8 o'clock. I think the election's over. This isn't like an official call or anything, but it looks to me like Donald Trump is on track to win a larger electoral vote share than he did in 2016 to possibly win the popular vote, which is one thing I didn't think was possible, and maybe even get a flat majority of the popular vote. I guess there's just a lot to talk about, but I'm pretty angry. I could just be real with you. And I'm I'm angry at so many things. And what our fellow Americans want was Donald Trump.
No.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I don't agree with this.
I know.
I know. But that's okay. You will eventually. Give it another 3 hours. Sarah, do you want to beat me up first, or do you want to get in line first?
I don't want to beat you up. I just look. I think we're diagnosing something that we don't quite know yet. I am, I'm still waiting to see how this is going. But I do think it is trending badly. It is not trending in a positive direction. I do think that it is possible that she could still eke this out. I don't know that I think she's going to lose all the blue wall states, but I am pretty worried about Pennsylvania right now. She's just not putting up the numbers that she needs in these slightly more suburban areas. What is this? Who is this random dude in the comments? I shouldn't look at the comments. In any event, I do think
on the plus side, we're not going to have to worry about a stolen election in which Donald Trump corrupts the vote counting process down to the county level. So that's good. I mean, I've always thought that if Trump was going to win, an actual clean win for him was the best case scenario for the country. And so we get that. No.
That's
nothing.
the pony.
That's it's not nothing.
Yeah, what I don't want to do if not just if Trump does happen to win, but also if he happens.
And by the way, I really feel a little sick at the idea of having to have Donald Trump in our faces for another 4 years. It's almost more than I can stand. But let me just put my analyst hat back on for a second. And
So we're just seeing that Jen O'Malley Dillon has just sent out an email to all hands on the Harris campaign. It is hey, all is not lost, but it finishes by saying, we'll continue to keep you all updated as we get more information. This is what we've been built for. So let's finish up what we have in front of us tonight, get some sleep, and get ready to close out strong tomorrow. And Sarah, come on, this is where you rally us with something helpful.
I mean, look, I think we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. And I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. I agree that if we're in a scenario where Trump has won most of the swing states by a bigger margin, and he has the House and the Senate, Bernie Moreno, they just called Ohio for Bernie Moreno. So Sherrod Brown's lost, which I got to tell you guys, I always thought Sherrod Brown was going to lose that race, though. I mean,
for those of us, and I certainly was one of them, who took the Selzer poll to heart, Trump is currently winning Iowa by 13 points. So the scale of her polling miss is catastrophic. And that's with 83% of the vote in.
I don't know why people
who went for this. And I agree with Bill. I think this is just a horrific event in American history and mobilize the resistance. And I think it will be the resistance. I'm prepared to put undocumented people in my attic, to protect them from having their families broken apart. Or so we're headed for a very, very dark chapter, and I don't think that we can try to get around that. I mean, Trump might not be able to do everything that he's promised. He's not going to end democracy on day one. The courts will fight him on a lot of things, but this is a very, very serious crisis.
As dark as you guys want to go, I could go there. But as somebody who's told a dear friend after 2016 that I fell out of love with America then, this is old hat for me. Okay, I'm past that. This country is just like other countries. It's not special. It's not, exceptional, etc. We're just like other countries.
All right. Well, this is great. This has been super fun. At least we didn't have to stay up till 3 a.m. to get here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're just
but during that time, it's very clear that Donald Trump's going to win the election. So I don't know if you guys have actually said that. I don't know where.
Yeah, no, I said this, and I got.
It's so. I say this not to bring everybody down, but really, actually, as a self-care thing, because I've sent several texts to my friends that are like, "What should I do? I want to take a sleeping pill if it's over." And I was like, "You should take a sleeping pill if that's."
Hey, walk us through why you think that.
Sure. I was listening to Spin from the campaign, and what they're saying is that there are these tranches of votes that are going to come in, and that will happen, and that will narrow the margins. But I don't see it. I don't see the numbers being there.
Well, can I just say, because I'm trying to be a little bit of sunshine. We get to go to bed early. There's no insurrection. Okay. We don't test. Alan Lichtman just got
bad night for Alan. Bad night for Alan Lichtman, I would say.
So we can bury the keys.
We can bury the keys.
I mean,
my mind's kind of shifted in the past 20 to 30 minutes in a weird way. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm energized by it, but I do feel mission called to it. I remember where I was in 2016 when I had the same pit in my stomach. And we were all talking about, well, what does the resistance look like? It looks like this. It's small, punchy opposition, and it's impact journalism.
I'm with you on that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm fucking not leaving. I'm not going to fucking Punta del Este or this is not. That's not happening.
Nice though.
It does sound nice. I have a little bit a bleaker view of the same point, which is.
Well, let me just say, I feel like there's people in this chat, and I'm reading the chats, and like half of the comments are some version of fuck it, like politics doesn't work, I'm quitting it, like it's hopeless, like I'm done with it. Michael Wiggins just now, I'm done with politics. And like, if you're gonna check out, like, come on, now's not the time to check out. Now's the time to check in for me. Like, I really feel that firmly. Like, this is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. But if you're not willing to actually like do the reporting, do the work, protect people who don't deserve to be targeted by our government from, protect them and help them, then you know what? You shouldn't have been in the first place. That's where my head's at.
I want to speak to that. And I can understand why that's dispiriting for people. And like, this is actually part of the reason why I'm not taking drugs like I was 8 years ago is because despite the fact that I did think Kamala was going to win, I knew that there's a legitimate chance of this. We've talked about it a lot. And so
we've talked about it a lot. I would just like to say, like, the idea that like we were all hopped up on hopium about Kamala is not true. We have been very clear-eyed about the possibility, like the very legitimate possibility that Donald Trump run. JVL's written about 100 triads about the fact that he might, we have been coin flipped the whole time. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
So anyway, no, I
just always thought it was a coin flip election. I never imagined that Trump could win a resounding victory,
right,
the way he has tonight.
JVL,
this is once more a failure of imagination.
Still a news outlet. He hasn't won the resounding victory tonight. The way it looks like he's going to, I think.
He's going to win the popular vote. He's going to win a larger. He's going to win a larger share of the electoral college than he did in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
This is again. Yeah. This is something that I absolutely failed to imagine was possible.
Obviously,
no. But
I'm worried about the need. We have to organize an opposition pretty quickly to be pretty effective, and it's going to be very hard to do it in these current. We're going to be in disarray, I guess is what I'm saying. Maybe we, the Bulwark, can help lessen the disarray or figure out a way out of the disarray quickly. But the natural state of things is not going to be, let's all get back together and work right. Sarah's really right.
Is to not be tired. Our job is to figure that out.
Fuck yeah.
Guys, I think
fuck yeah.
That's a great place to end this night. Frankly.
We're going to be back tomorrow. Me and JBL and Sarah will be back here on YouTube tomorrow. We got to figure out the time. We had a time, but we might move it up when things are in flux. So, we're not going anywhere. Bill's got to write a newsletter for the morning. Sam has to channel this energy into making sure that the rest of the website sounds like he does. And I don't know. You guys probably need to take a sleeping pill. So, I don't know. That's all I got, JBL.
Hey, if you guys just suffered through this national tragedy with us, we appreciate it. And
subscribe to the Bulwark.
One thing is true then, which is still true now, which is that we are all in this together. So we'll go and try to pick up the pieces of that and try to figure out how we're going to save civil society starting tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everybody. Good luck, America.
Good night.
Good luck, America.